Okay, so there's 190 lines here. Each one of them represents a scorecard. And the first part of the scorecard, this like label section, it's inconsequential. So first thing right off the bat, I'm just gonna delete it. Percent. I'm not looking at my keyboard, there we go. Still learning how to type. Norm D2W, and that'll get rid of that first column. There's probably like 2 or 3 or 4 more ways you can do that, but in this situation, I think that works pretty well. As for these other 2 parts of the scorecard, on the left of the bar here, these numbers, I'll call them the winning numbers. There's 10 of them. My goal is to figure out how many of these are in this group of numbers on the right. So first of all, how can I systematically parse these 10 numbers on the left side of the bar? Like this, DIWX, 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 and so on and so forth. I'll just keep doing that and chomping them off. Chomp, chomp, chomp. So DIWX, chomp, chomp, chomp. And remember that every time I delete something, that's going into the unnamed register. I'd rather have each of these numbers go into their own register so that I can keep track of them individually. And so since there's 10 of them, I'm going to put each one into its own named registers, A through J. It will be a little bit too tedious for me to type that out explicitly. So check this out. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. I'm going to build what I want to type using the substitute command. So here we go. S, I want to match on /W, which is every character there. And then let's throw the ampersand in there. So this portion is the match portion, and this portion over here is the replacement portion. And right now I'm not doing anything essentially. So what I would like to type though is double quote. So it's like I'm calling each register, or I'm like specifying each register, and then I can put the DIW after the ampersand and then the X. And so this is what I want to type. So I'll hit enter, turn the highlighting off so it's easier to see. So now I'll stick all of this into the Z register. So double quote Z, capital D. Then I can go back to my input file and test it out with @Z. Now I can validate that the numbers are where I want them to be with registers A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. You see that? There's the numbers, the first 10 winning numbers for the first scorecard. So this looks great on the first line, but look down here, watch this, @Z. It didn't get them all. I missed the last digit, this 3 here. It's because there's single digits in this in these winning numbers, and so my pattern DIWX kind of breaks down. It doesn't work for those rows. So to fix that, we'll have to pad every single digit with a 0. So I'm sorry to do this to you, but here comes a very nasty substitute. It's gonna hurt your eyes. %S, and then I want to match digits, and I want it to be global. Put the ampersand in there. I don't want to match every digit or number, I only want the numbers that are single digits. If I surround this /D with less than, greater than signs, you can see that's a little bit better. It's starting to pick up the single digits. And so I want to pad those with a 0. The thing is though, we're not done yet. You can see there's extra white space in front of those matches in the buffer there. So we want to get rid of that so that there's always just one space between the preceding number. If I do /S in front of it, oh whoops, we need to get rid of this ampersand and replace it with /1. And we actually need to throw the digit inside of a match group. Again, that's almost what we want, but there's actually digits that, like on line 11 there at the very beginning, there's just a 2. We're not matching on that anymore because there's not a space in front of it. There's just a new line, or not a new line, the beginning of the line. So I actually want to say space or caret, which is the beginning of a line, and I have to wrap this in a little group as well. If I use the percent with parentheses, that's a non-capturing group, and it just kind of groups those two things together, the white space and the caret for the beginning of the line. So now let's get back to the main thing, which is searching for the winning numbers. Let's see if I still have that thing in my Z register from earlier. Looks like I do. Jump to the top here. Let's use our trick for chomping the numbers. So chomp, chomp, chomp. That seems to be working a lot better. But how can we actually search for those things in the registers? Well, check this out. So again, I'll do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and I'll use substitute to build another substitute command. So going meta, we'll do W again, and then I'll replace it with Control V, Control R. So what Control R does is pastes in the value of some register, and we can get the register with ampersand. And I'll make this global so you can see it up there. And in between each of these, I want to do a vertical bar. This is gonna make sense in a minute. I'll hit enter, and I don't need this very last bar actually, so I'll just delete that. Jump back to the beginning, take the highlighting off. So this is gonna be the search portion of a substitute command that I'm gonna use back in the input file. I'll stick it into the Y register with double quote, Y, D. Return to my other buffer. All right, let's do this. So QQ, record a macro, at Z to chomp those off, DIWX once more. So now here comes that substitute we just built. I'll do Control R followed by Y. So this is the search part of the command, but now the replacement part, I'll just do an X. And as for the flags, I'll do G for global, and I'll also use E so that it doesn't complain if there's not a match. Hit enter, first scorecard is done, Q to stop recording. Now I want to repeat that on every remaining line. So let's do a range of +1, comma, $sign, norm, and then at Q, where our macro that we just recorded is stored. Hit enter, nice. So each of these X's represents a winning number that was found. I'll clean up by removing anything that is not an X. So not X is kind of what that reads as. And you can see without this range of %, it only did it on the first line, but we want every line, so we'll run that. I'll also get rid of empty lines, so global, and I'll target empty lines like this, and the command we can give it is D with an underscore, send it into a black hole. And I didn't mention this yet, but the way that the scorecards are scored or tallied is a little bit tricky. Each card gets 1 point for the first match, but then for any additional match, the points double each time. In other words, the score is a function of how many X's appear on each line or how long each line is. I'm thinking that if I can get each line into the expression register, I can find the score for each scorecard or each line. Since I want to do this for every line in the file, I'll use norm with a % to apply it to every single line in the file. I can say capital C to clear everything on that line into the unnamed register, and this puts me in insert mode. Then Control V plus Control R gets me the escape code for Control R, followed by an equals sign, which is how you get into the the expression register. Then the expression I want to evaluate is this, float to NR, POW, to, I want to get the length of whatever's in the unnamed register. That's what I cleared with the capital C. And then -1 because of the way the scoring works. So here we go. Shoot, I forgot something. Let me undo that last thing. I forgot to end this with the key code for enter. So it's kind of tricky because we're inside the norm command, but we're building, like we're also, like in the norm command, we're entering the expression register, and so you have to hit enter as part of the norm command, but then I also have to enter to run the norm command. So kind of tricky. So there we have the score of each scorecard, and now the very final part is to sum all of them up to get the total score. And you're probably sick of watching me do this if you've seen any of my previous videos. I'm not even gonna talk about it. So then we'll clear all this with capital C, go into our expression register one more time, and then Control R, double quote for that unnamed register content, 15205, 15205. And by the way, that was day 4 of 2023 Advent of Code.